Alright folks, welcome back to another Invader video. Today we'll be looking at some of the very technical aspects of invasion, that is to make yourself alive when you're invading. So very useful knowledge. Today we'll be looking at, this is a real game that happened between two professionals. But today what I'm going to talk about is about this invasion at M17. And today's goal is not to look at the actual game, but rather what does white do when black plays L16, right? So I believe for a lot of my viewers, this L16 looks very, very tough to deal with. And I believe in some of your games you might even get yourself killed in here, or you might end up losing a lot of points by not playing properly. So today, which is I think the one of the most important video of my Invader, is to teach you how to make yourself alive, but in the meantime cause maximum problem for your opponent. We'll be looking, obviously in the next few videos, we'll be looking at some of the other ways, either to break out or to make yourself alive. And we'll look at that whole process so you can become a more efficient and more aggressive invader. So when you encounter this situation, it does look a little bit overwhelming because looks like there's black stones everywhere, right? And it's very easy to get scared and lose directions. So first of all, if white pushes up, this is not a great move, although it looks really good. Black will just use his force and block white here. White will honey, black cuts, and now white is in a difficult situation. If white turns here, black will extend, and then it's very hard. It is actually very hard for white to live in here. So likely white will Atari, forcing black to extend, and then Atari this direction. Black will run, white pushes, black keeps running, and white will push once again, and then now black will capture the two stones. This result seems to be okay for white, but actually this is a very bad result for white. First of all, black has two very strong stones over here. That is going to cause some insecurity for white group over here, but also just look at how black has secured a very large corner. In the meantime, we need to look at some of the follow-ups in here. How does white follow up? Trying to kill black here. There's no actual good way. If white plays this one, black will just defend. If white needs another move to seal black, otherwise black will come out. So no matter what white's gonna play, black will crawl first and block here. And as we all can see, there's absolutely no way to kill black here. If you extend, there are many moves that black can use, right? Like black does not even have to necessarily use these moves. Maybe this is enough to just live. And black lived with decency. In the meantime, he gets overcompensated in the corner. And then black later on can look for all kinds of weaknesses that white has, right? So all these moves are very, very annoying for white later on. So that is a definition of a failed attempt to try to break out, and the cause for that is white got very scared, or white white was playing too directly, right? Without deep reading. So this push looks good, but it doesn't really work. So today I will present you the textbook way of living inside. But before that, I like to tell you that L16 by black is a little bit of overplay. A better move for black to play is actually to attach here. So first making use of white's group over here to build more stones, and then hit this stone harder, which is actually what is played in the professional game. But that's not the topic for today. Today we're looking at what happens when your opponent overplays. How do you punish him? How do you make yourself alive, right? This is a very basic question. So the first move is always to play p17, right? Especially when your opponent has a formation like this, there's always this p17 weakness that we can exploit to start. So when white plays p17, black has 3 ways to defend. Obviously the block inside, the block outside, and the connect. So let's first look at the connection. So if black connects, now this is a time that white has to be quite flexible. If you play out this one, black will be able to turn here. White is able to live here, but it's very so white might have to use moves like this to kind of live inside here. Not to say there's all kinds of problems. There's this problem. Yeah, so white can't even live right now. So white needs some really good life and death knowledge to actually live here. And it's not so clear how. But you definitely need a lot of life and death reading, and I believe white can live, but the problem is look at black's. Black's stones are all very strong now, and then he can later on take retaliation by peeping here, by start harassing this group, and this invasion is just not very successful by giving black too much outside. So I don't recommend you to pull back the stone. This looks like an intuitive move, but the actual correct move is for you to go inside a corner, right? We try to exploit black's weakness as much as we can. So against this, black's probably the best move is to actually play N18 to cut off the connection. If white tries to connect back, this is not going to work. So white cannot do that. White's correct move is to Kosumi here, forcing black to come back. If black does not come back, white can immediately just kill the stone there. So black will pull back, killing the stone, but white will end up getting the entire corner. So this corner is completely alive. Black has no obvious ways to kill, right? White can make use of the Hane. Yeah, so white is going to be able to live here, basically. And then, of course, if black plays this one, white can play the Hane. And then this is pretty much the same result. So there's a Miai here. White's going to Atari and white's going to cut. If black fixes this one, white will Atari, and this corner is absolutely alive with quite a lot of points while destroying the entire black's corner. So this is a very successful invasion, just because white was able to live in a very decent way with a lot of points while destroying the entire black's corner, in the meantime not hurting this group too much. So that's how you would invade properly when black connects, right? So let's just go through that process again. Here, don't rush to pull it back, right? The more you want safety, the less you're gonna get it. So black will turn here, right? How are you gonna make a life here, right? You probably need some good maneuver here maybe so. Maybe this is probably how you would live, but black will get the Sente, and black can start harassing our group here. Black has a lot of moyo going on in here. So not to say that there's tactical problems, right? So black does not have to extend at k16. All those you have to worry about. It's really not the goal I have in mind. It's really not for you guys to read like forever and ever because of life and death. We're looking for a simple solution, which is also the best solution recommended by AI. That is for you to go into the corner. So this is a miai. We try to connect back, and we try to go into the corner. Nothing black can do against this. You cut off the connection. I will kick once, and then jump to the corner. And then we destroy the corner, and we are very happy with our size in the corner. In the meantime, our group here is still safe and sound. Very, very clear way of invading. And then it really does not require any 5-dan reading or stuff like that, right? So any viewers who are watching this video will be, able to master this very easily. So let's look at some other defenses that that black has. So another possible defense is for black to block the corner. So black does not have to just play a very rigid move at p16. So if black blocks, it does feel a little bit annoying, right? Because we can no longer go in the corner. So here we'll present how white will invade in an optimal way. So white will first honey. So against this hunting, if black connects, white can make a tiger's mouth. After this exchange, black is forced to block here, because if you play anywhere else, white can easily come into the corner and then destroy everything in here. When black blocks, and here is a very important point, it's for you to actually know that you can play out this clamp. So a lot of times I notice my viewers that when they're trying to live, they feel like they're the ones getting attacked, so they have to defend, they have to play passive and stuff. This mindset needs to be changed if you want to become better at this game. That is, always have this concept of have this idea of counterattack, right? Even if we are in the defensive side, even if we are under attack, we always remember to give our opponent the most trouble. Right now, the best move is for you to clamp at S18. You might be wondering, what does this move do? Like if black just kill white, white will go ahead and make himself alive. So white will play this one. Black will extend. If black plays this one, white is able to come out this way, right? So in this way, white is able to come out. There's no tactical problems. No matter what you play, white is able to kill whatever you try to do here. So no tactical problems here, and then white is just successfully back home. And then now we can see the problem is that if black just without thinking plays something like this, there's this very nice Tsuji here, that is to clamp at S16. That's thanks to our S18 move. Now black is in trouble. So if black tries to block, we can just kill. We can just kill the stones here. These two stones are dead, and then this group is dead. If black connects, we can obviously just get ourselves home. We can just connect here, and then that's just enough to kill black here. So now black is pretty much have to defend the corner. So which means not only we got ourselves out, but we got out in Sente, and now we can think about potentially starting playing somewhere else, wherever is big. So that's the variation when black bumps in like this. Black can also try to seal white. So now you cannot come out anymore because black can cut in the most brutal way. But nevertheless, white can just play a Kosumi at k18. Black will obviously block here, otherwise white will crawl and increase the eye space. And now white will pull the stone back. And then white is completely alive. And actually before this, white can potentially come out first. Looking at the problems that black has here. So let's say black plays. Yeah, so before that, white can probably turn here actually, and then cause some problems first, and then pull back, and then black later on still has to worry about the stone that we put here. All right, there's always this S16 that's very, very annoying for black. So not only were we able to successfully defend, but also during the defense, we're able to make a small counterattack, right? This is really important in Invader series. That is always, your opponent is not, just because your opponent is attacking you, doesn't mean he is perfect. He doesn't have weaknesses. In fact, he has tons of weaknesses that you can make use of to get yourself alive and also leave problems for him. So very, very important idea in the invasion. When you try to invade, you have to be aggressive. It's not because you're under attack you don't have to be aggressive anymore. You always have to be have the counter attack in mind. So that is our that is how you would defend against this type of attack. So you would Hane. So let's just go through that again. Tiger's mouth. Black obviously needs to connect here. So you know, after some exchange like this, black will block here, and white can look for a counter attack here. So even before that, right? So even before that, you can look for a counter attack. Here, there's a bit of complication. There could be a ko here. So yeah, that's a different variation. So white can just go for something like this, and this is probably slightly better for black, right? This avoids, this puts more risk. If you want to clamp, there's probably this, but if white has a lot of co-threats, he can go ahead and play out this one. So it's risks for both sides actually, because it's a ko. But just remember the standard variation is at this point we don't forget to counterattack, and when black blocks, and then we can say, hey, you know what, I can just now live, and later on there's this problem for black, so now I can just live with N18, and this is definitely a very alive group. If you play this one, I can block here. If you play, I don't know what black's gonna play. If you play this one, I can block. This is already a Sente, and white is already alive actually. So white can just start playing somewhere else, right? White can just start, you know, going elsewhere, right? If you attach here, I can play this one. So this is a Seki. So black's not gonna play like this because it allows white to get a free move outside. So at this point, black just probably just, you know, stop trying to kill white. White is already alive. All right, so that's the second variation, and then finally, black will block outside sometimes, and here it's basically a very, very simple solution that is for white to Hane here. So black cannot block here, right? So for obvious reasons, if you block here, I will connect. Now you're forced to connect here, and then tons of problems, right? Even if white just jumps in here, there's a weakness, but not to say there's tons of risk for black to do something like that. So here, yeah, so if black actually plays like this, I think there's a lot of problems. So white can first just go into the corner and live, and now it's pretty much black's turn to fix this problem. When you fix, I can just make myself alive. This is also a very decent corner that is white is very happy with. But I think already there are some tactical there's tactical considerations because of the clams that that white might have. This is already a bit risky, and now white can just hop into the corner, forcing black to come out, stuff like that. So is black willing to take this kind of risk? Not so sure about it, because white is able to destroy everything here. But the safe solution, you can just hop into the corner. S17 is a great move for you to do so. Yeah, and then black fixes, we can fix our own problem, right? Either here or just play this one. Either one is pretty good. So very simple. Black, and not to say that white also has things like this. So this move probably just does not work. And now this fight is even more difficult, right? Because white stone is now here. There is white can just hop in, something like that. So all kinds of problems when black tries to play this one. A more reasonable move is for black to fix the weakness. White is going to play Q17, and now there's a connection. Black has to block. White will connect, and now we all know what to play, right? We will just save our corner here, and then everything is gonna be just fine, right? So everything is gonna be just good for white. White has a very large corner. We already talked about this. So all right, so let's do a quick recap. So whenever our opponent tries to seal us in and kill us, always very important to look at opponent's weakness. Obviously, this side does not have much weakness. You play this one, black will just block. Your push and cut is just it's not going to work. Black has too many stones. So obviously, the direction we look at is the other side. When black plays this one, we will crawl, and after this exchange, we're able to grab the entire corner for ourselves. Sometimes black plays the very solid corner defense, but that's not a problem. White will play this one, followed by this one. Black will connect, and white plays this one. So yeah, this would be a very normal continuation. So white can successfully get enough ice space, and if white has a lot of co-threats, he can potentially play things like this. Or if you want to reach that position, you can also play the connect. Connect is also an excellent move. If black connects, and then we can just directly play this. And then we can play out like this. This is just perfectly fine for white, right? So now we got the counter attack. So yeah, the tiger's mouth not accurate. You can connect here to reach this position that we talked about in the video. And then finally we talked about the block outside, and the solution is for you to play out this one, and then we're back to the same story, right? So very, very easy, guys. It looks very hard, I mean, for a lot of my viewers, right? Like this could be very hard, and then if you push out and just try to fight black like this, this one won't even work, so you have to keep pushing, and then you can't kill this part, and then this corner is already huge. So that's not a clever way to fight, right? A clever way is to understand that black has a lot of stones, but in the meantime, try to exploit black's weakness by playing p17, and then if black tries to cut this off, you can go into the corner. If black tries to block you going to the corner, we can honey connect and then make ourselves enough eye space to live on the side. So very nice way for you to live after the invasion, right? So I know a lot of my viewers know that this is the great invasion point, but we kind of need to know the follow-up when black overplays like this, right? We need to play p17 basically. So tactically, this is a very good lecture, I believe, for your future game. So feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, and talk to you guys next time.